I had to be Showtime. I had to go out there and be like, all right, I got to make him think like, oh shit, this is different. Like it's a different feeling of like strikes are coming at different angles. My coach calls it being the boogeyman. It's like going out there making the guy afraid of you. Like you got to like different angles. Like you're hunting this guy down. So when you can go out there and be the boogeyman of the guys, you'll see like either a guy's gonna rise up and be like, all right, I'm gonna fight this motherfucker, or they're gonna be like, and then that's what we saw in that one.
So this is the first finish between you and
Michael Chiesa. Man, Michael Chiesa was talking so much shit before this fight, and now we're boys though, so good for him and what he's doing. Congrats on everything he's got going on. But he was talking mad shit before that fight, so I was like, I'm gonna whoop this guy's ass. Like those were one of the fights where I'm like, I want to finish this guy. And you watch it, like if you watch that fight, I just had my hands down. I was being real cocky. I was like trying to bring him in. I could tell like he has a bad time fighting guys that are getting in his head. So like if he feels like he's less of than them, if he's like the big guy in front of him, he's confident. He goes forward. I could tell I already had him. And he wanted out. I hit him with a body kick, and he was already hurt. So like he was already. I could tell he already had his wind knocked out, basically. So when I took him down, I tried to get for that guillotine. Didn't get the guillotine. He ended up on top. That's why I threw my legs up, and then he just wanted out. Really, like that triangle wasn't fully locked in. Like he just wanted out. To fight.
You gave him an opportunity.
He wanted out. Yeah, so he got out.
and so you know the game plan that I wanted to ask next, going into that, it sounds like your game plan wasn't just physical. You knew that he had a confidence, if he had that level of mental preparation, that if he felt like he was going into something above, that he's more dangerous. So your strategy going into it, was it more
be the boogeyman?
I just got to let him know that he doesn't have anything on me.
I had to be Showtime. I had to go out there and be like, all right, I got to make him think like, oh shit, this is different. Like it's a different feeling of like strikes are coming at different angles. So yeah, it's like when I can go and be the boogeyman. Duke, my coach calls it being the boogeyman. It's like going out there and making the guy afraid of you. Like you got to like different angles. Like you're hunting this guy down. So when you can go out there and be the boogeyman of the guys, you'll see like either a guy's gonna rise up and be like, all right, I'm gonna fight this motherfucker, or they're gonna be like, and then that's what we saw in that one.
Beautiful. Because he probably had, like you said, more tools in the arsenal, tools in the box, but you had him beat beforehand that you gave him the opportunity to tap out, and he did.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he definitely thought he was gonna do something there, but when he felt that first body kick, that's when I saw it go, shh, and I was like hands down. I started like getting in his face, threw a jump spin kick. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Was there any moment during that you doubted any of your?
Oh hell no! That one was one of those ones where like I'm gonna go beat this guy and beat him quick. Like I was like, because he was talking shit. Anybody that talks shit to me, no lie. Like besides Nate Diaz, that's the only guy that was talking shit to me that I lost to. But other than that, anybody that got me under my skin that made it more than a fight, yeah, I won. This is my fucking phenomenal run. Like when I was fighting like this, like no one was on. Like I was unstoppable here. So when I got the Wheaties box right after that.
Oh, look at
Wheaties
this.
box right on my ass.
You got Wheaties on your ass.
Yeah, I was the first fighter and last fighter to be on a Wheaties box.
Look at you.
So during this time right here, look at that cage. I had every one of those were one of my sponsors. I had Metro PCS, I had Corn Nuts, I had Wheaties, I had Toyo Tires, I had the Reserve, I had Harley.
No
I had
way.
Bud Light. I had everybody in the cage. And I was like, oh man, there's money here.
Yeah. And then the guillotine, flipped it over to then guillotine from the top.
Yeah. Again, so I think, pause real fast. I think a lot of my submissions come from my striking. So I hurt guys in the striking area first, and then they try to take me down, and they're not 100% themselves. They're like either hurt in the body or they're woozy from the head, and that's why my submissions look so clean, because I'm going against a guy that's like not there, fully not there. So like I have more submissions off my back than knockouts, but they all come from me messing somebody up.
Because you're original, I mean, Taekwondo. You're stand up.
Boxing.
And then that's cool. When did jiu-jitsu kind of come in?
I learned that. That was the last thing I learned. When I started fighting MMA is how I learned jiu-jitsu. So the reason why I got in MMA, me and my brother owned a Taekwondo gym in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. We had like 250 students. I was driving a BMW to high school, running my Taekwondo gym. And I was good. So my whole goal was to have 10 gyms. That was my first goal. I was like, yo, if I could do this at this age, and my dad died when I was 16. So from 16 to 17, I was driving a BMW and had 250 students paying me monthly. It was like me and my brother had a great business. So the reason why I went to learn jiu-jitsu was because MMA was becoming popular. And we knew if we were teaching Taekwondo, if we wanted to compete, we would have to show our students some kind of a ground game. So I was the younger brother. My brother kept teaching. He's like, go learn jiu-jitsu so we could teach our students. And I just fell in love with it, bro. And that's how it all started.
I love it. And I love that your brother knew the divide and conquer.
Times are changing. Yeah, times are changing. Like if you don't change, we would have lost a lot of students because MMA was becoming really popular. But then I mean, I became a world champ, and now they understand that Taekwondo is a good foundation.
But the stand-up allowed you to not only set up the
Triangles and arm bars.
because I mean it made you look. And maybe I'm just talking out of my ass here, but when you got to the ground, your jiu-jitsu almost didn't even have to be as good as it was because they were almost ready to quit before you even threw anything up.
I heard them before they go.
That's awesome.
And the saying is, like, when you punch a black belt in the face, they become a brown belt. And you hit them again, they become a purple belt. Hit them again, they become a blue belt. You know, almost knock them out, they're a white belt.
And what belt? I mean, black
belt.
belt. And
yeah,
so
I'm black belt. I got black belt in Taekwondo, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, capoeira, and I'm ranked in karate too. I just never finished karate.
You're just
All
a
of
true
it.
martial
Yeah, I just
artist.
did it all.
You're just,
Yeah.
and I box
professionally too. So I'm probably one of the most well-rounded guys, I would say, in mixed martial arts. I could do everything.
So this is against
Joe Lauzon. Oh my God, this was in Japan. That was one of my favorite fights. This was that started my title run, and that was the first round. It's crazy because in Japan there's like 40,000 people there, and no one even they just do this.
Oh no way!
They don't yell, like there's not obnoxious. They're just like
golf clapping.
Yeah. But so for this one, I set this up. Look at the left hand. I set him up with a left straight. So I turned southpaw, and I pretended that I was gonna punch him in the face with the left hand, and he made the mistake. He parried with his backhand. If you parry with your backhand, so I just faked it over the top. I was like, damn, that easy. Yeah, he was done. I'm surprised it wasn't worse of a knockout because that was chin to chin.
40,000. Oh, do you mind pausing real quick? 40,000.
40,000.
Rampage says he loves fighting in Japan because
I got a funny story about Rampage. So that fight, right after that fight, so like we go out. I'm sponsored by Toyo Tires at that time. He's also sponsored by Toyo Tires. So Toyo Tires sponsors, hey, I'm gonna take you out to Roppongi, cool ass district in Japan. It's like Vegas in Japan. So we go to the club and like long ass line. I'm like, dang, and like he stands like from Toyo Tires. Shout out to Toyo Tires stand. But he's like, hey, we're good. We'll go upstairs. Like I know the guy performing, and I'm like, okay. So we go upstairs. Man, this place is jam-packed with Japanese chicks. Like, they love this dude. He comes out, Rampage, and he's doing a rap concert.
Oh, he was the performer?
He was the performer. Oh. Bro, they loved him. He's up there rapping. He had his big-ass chain on. Bro, I was like, this is insane, because I knew Rampage from fighting. I had no idea he rapped, but they thought he was, like, Tupac. They thought he was the man. I was like, this is crazy.
And he wasn't gonna tell them otherwise. He was like, I'm a rapper.
No, I think he set that up. Like, he was performing there. Like, they like him that much out there that he was, like, the main attraction for the club. So, like, that's why the club was so packed, because they wanted to see Rampage. But he was also rapping. It was wild, bro.
We got to ask him about that. I've never heard
yeah.
that story.
That is funny.
But was he fighting around that same time,
He was still fighting, yeah. But
I mean, like...
But in Japan, because of pride, he was so popular. If you walk around with Rampage in Japan, like, he's, like, the president. Like, they're like, oh, my God. I mean, in Japan, if there's a black dude or, like, somebody that's...
LeBron.
Yeah.
It's like,
but for him, with the chain on, man, he's a legend out there. You go with him to Japan, it's different.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Ben Henderson, too. Another submission by body kicks. If you watch this fight, I hit him 7 times in the body with body kicks. And he was hurt. I don't care what he said. He was hurt. That's why he gave that armbar up like that. Because he's a great jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
But I hurt him with body kicks. So like I said, if you got a guy that's really good at wrestling and jiu-jitsu, hit him with the body, hit him in the head, and their skill level goes down. The threat goes way down.
Through that armbar.
That was so clean.
So fast.
So what he messed up with, I don't know if you get reminded, but so what he messed up with is he tried to do a can opener. And that's a big no-no. Can opener is when you put both hands behind a guy's head. Now it traps you, and all I have to do is take one arm. So he puts both hands behind my head to try to like stall me and hold me down. But now you're trapped and your elbows are stuck. That's why I call him a double arm bar, because he gave it to me. But he did the can opener. He got one stuck. And he tried to get out, and I turned the other way, and now both arms were stuck. So he couldn't even tap. He just had to say tap.
Real quick on that one. So that was Henderson 2.
Henderson 2 when I won the belt in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, my hometown. So the arena there was called the Bradley Center. I grew up going there. Like, I would watch Bucks games there. But when I won the fight, I told him, I'm like, I used to sit up in the nosebleeds. Like, this is for everybody up in the nosebleeds. And man, it was a surreal moment. My name's in the lights. My family's there. The after party was insane. You remember that?
Dude, you won the belt in your hometown, where, like you said, not only the nostalgic growing up, I'm sure you saw it in your head as a kid, but would it ever really come true? The surreality of that, I'm sure, is just, is that even a word? I don't know.
It sounded good.
Yeah, hey, I'll take it. But was that the kick was in WEC, right?
WEC, first time I won the world title.
So
that was in his home. That was here in Arizona. That was here. Yeah. So we fought in his hometown, and then we fought in my hometown.
That was a different hometown experience.
Yeah, it was crazy though. So like my story in the UFC, I swear it was like God written. It was like I was blessed to be in that position because I initially beat not Lauzon, Cowboy Cerrone. And I hit him with a body kick, dropped him in the first round. That was my title shot guarantee. And they were making me wait for a while. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just fight Jose Aldo. I was the first one to do the double weight class thing. So me and Jose Aldo were supposed to fight. I was a 155-pound contender. I was going to fight Jose Aldo. I went out to Brazil, squared off with him. And while I was out there, I fucked my knee up. Me and Phil Davis were rolling. And I tried to like put him in a can opener. And like not a can opener, it's like a calf slicer. And he just straightened his leg out, popped my LCL. So I was out. Missed my title fight with Jose Aldo. This is like May. Missed my title fight with Jose Aldo. They announced Ben Henderson, TJ Grant was supposed to fight for the lightweight title in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'm on the sidelines hurt. I'm like, fuck, man, that was supposed to be me. I should have waited. And then probably 6 weeks before the fight, TJ Grant gets hurt, concussion. Dana White calls me up. You want to fight for the world title? I'm like, fuck, say less. I had 5 weeks to get ready for that fight. 5 weeks to get ready. I remember I was drinking a beer in Duke's backyard. One of our teammates were going away. And I was drinking a beer, and the phone call happened, and he's like, hey, we're fighting for the title. They called Duke. And he's like, you want to fight for the title? I'm like, fuck yeah. Immediately put the beer down, and me and my little bro.
Throw up the rest of the beer.
Me and my little bro went on a 20-mile run.
Oh, man.
We're just going from Duke's house to like everywhere. Like that was my initial start of my camp. A 20-mile bike ride. I'm sorry, not a run. 20-mile bike ride. And then we get back to the house, and I start training camp for Ben Henderson, man. And it was like one of those moments where it's like, I'd wish no ill upon anybody, but if he wouldn't have got hurt like that, like I wouldn't have had that opportunity.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, like you said, no ill will, but you know the algorithms were in your favor.
The story was like
it was written.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Insane. And then the cool thing about that, when you get in my hometown, sorry to even go back to that, but I always promised my dad, like when I started the sport, like in my head, I'm like, hey, when I win that belt, I'm gonna bring it to your gravesite. That night, right from the arena, straight to the gravesite. And that was like one of the most like Instagram pics. Like when I posted that, they're like, damn, that was like, this kid's real. Like,
oh man,
straight to the cemetery. So it was like a very cool moment for myself.
Is it still on your profile?
Oh yeah.
Picture?
Like I think it's one of my first ones.
That's
I won
powerful.
the belt. Yep.
Thompson.
Oh, this was a good one. He was whooping my ass. He was whooping my ass though. His range is insane. So like when I decided to go to 170. Never fought there before. He was number 3 in the world. And I told my manager, I'm like, I want to fight Wonder Boy. And he's like, bro, do you want to fight somebody else first? It's Melky at the time. And I'm like, nah, I want Wonder Boy. Like, let's do it. So like I was on vacation, and I remember I hit up like Dana White. I'm like, I want me and Wonder Boy. I forget where I was at. Belize. I was in Belize. It was like during New Year's. And I was like, I want Wonder Boy. And nothing came of it. And then like I get back, and sure enough, I get Wonder Boy. First fight at 170, I fight the number 3 guy in the world, Wonder Boy, and that's how it went down.
Superman punch.
Superman him off the cage.
Dude.
He's such a cool dude though. But yeah, his range was insane. Like his striking range for karate, like you can't get close to that guy.
Licking the blood off your
I'm
glove.
a savage. But so he sidekicks me. Like, I bounce off the cage, and I use that momentum to get to his chin.
He was like, shoot.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Wonder Boy was probably my most technical fight that I ever had, because I had a really strong game plan. I couldn't veer from it. He was whooping my ass, making my nose bleed. But if you rewatch that fight, my whole game plan was attack his legs. So karate guys are really long base, which makes their striking distance very long. But if you shorten that base up, now it becomes shorter, and now I can start getting his chin. So it took me probably like 4 or 5 low kicks, good low kicks, and then his base got little, and that's where I found his chin. This is Ben Henderson 1. This is here in Arizona.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is right here in Arizona. And so this is the last round of the title.
So like
fight.
right here,
Yeah.
are you thinking about
Nope,
that?
not at all. So it was 10 seconds left. I mean, a minute left. I remember my coach was like, yo, you gotta go. I couldn't land a right high kick on him because he's a southpaw. And that kick actually comes from like, I would jump off walls and break boards and like demos, like for karate.
Yeah.
So that's where where the concept came from. And then me and my little bro were just messing around with it and like doing it in the cage, and like then I started landing it. But I was like, again, story written from God. Like I can't say I decided that. It just happened, man. Like I was like, let me just go for it. And I remember when I landed, I turn around and I'm like, I can't believe that shit worked.
Yeah.
Watch, I look, I'm like, what?
That is so good to ask, because as a fan of this, and like obviously nobody had seen this before, it's always like, I wish I could ask
again, man. It's
totally.
That's yet to be done again, especially in that fashion.
It's always been. I wish I could ask Anthony if that was at
It's funny
all
because like
planned.
on the internet, a lot of people say that it's like it's premeditated. Like Ben Henderson puts his leg on the fence, and they're like, "That's the cue that he says to go."
Oh,
And
all
I'm
the
like,
conspiracies.
It looks good though. I'm like, damn, that looks good. Because watch, he puts his foot right here, and then he goes. They're like, that's his cue. And then the funny thing is, so when I did that kick, the guy who's recording on the cage, I kicked him in the nuts, and then I kicked Ben in the face with the same foot. So the camera guy's like, ugh.
Wow.
Yeah, so watch when I jump out the cage. So he's pressing his dick on the cage.
I mean, that looks
look,
signally.
Boom.
Dang.
Yeah, it's funny.
Wait, go back again. You kicked the cameraman?
Cameraman that's recording, I kick him in the
Hilarious.
nuts. Look at
Oh.
He told me after the fight, he's like, bro, that was a double hit. So you got me out and him out.
Powerful.
Yeah, that was the start of it all right there, bro. I mean,
And that was here in Arizona.
That was here in Arizona. So right before I did this fight, I got on that MTV show called World of Janks, and that kind of blew me up to get to that spot right here to get that title shot. The World of Janks show would like put me on that limelight to get to this spot. That was when I fought Danny Castillo. I knocked out Danny Castillo with a high kick, and they put I was filming for the MTV show during that. Yeah, it was big.